The story opens with Aminata standing before a jury, led by a white drag queen. Her eyes drift back in time to her childhood in the African village of Bayo Mali in the year 1761. Life there was peaceful and full of warmth. Her mother, a kind and skilled midwife, taught her how to bring new life into the world, while her father, a proud warrior and devoted Muslim, taught her to read, write, pray, and navigate the land. But even in peace, danger lurked. Rumors spread about men stealers, raiders who captured villagers never to return. To keep them safe, Aminata's father decided to escort her and her mother on a short trip to a nearby village. Yet, their journey turned tragic. Out of nowhere, armed raiders ambushed them. They were fellow Africans, betraying their own people. Her parents fought fiercely, but they were outnumbered, and the raiders carried guns. Both her parents were killed, and Aminata was captured as their village burned behind her. Among the prisoners, she spotted a familiar woman, Fanta, once from her village. The captives were chained together, forced to march endlessly. Escape was impossible. A boy named Chekura, who worked for the captors, tried to comfort her. Though part of their group, his kindness set him apart. When a captive fell behind, they were killed and left where they dropped. Seeing Aminata losing hope, Chekura offered her a mango to keep her strength, but Fanta snatched it away. When Aminata tried to pray, she was beaten harshly. Even Fanta, once cruel, felt pity and comforted her afterward. Chekura begged to loosen Aminata's chain, and while doing so, she noticed marks on his face. He was from a neighboring village where her mother had once delivered baby. Eventually, they reached the coast, where they met their buyers for the first time. Chekura explained that they would soon be taken across the sea. Many had already died waiting. When they finally saw the ocean, a massive ship loomed nearby. Before boarding, they were branded and inspected by a white man named Tom, who treated them as objects. Those who resisted were thrown into the water. Tom noticed that Aminata could be useful, especially after she convinced him to spare a pregnant woman, saying she knew how to help deliver baby. Below deck, Aminata saw the horrifying condition: darkness, stench, and suffering. Still, she called out the names of her fellow captives to keep them united. Tom later tried to force himself on her, but Aminata fought back and secretly stole a small blade, passing it to another captive. When the pregnant woman went into labor, Aminata helped her deliver safely, breathing life into the newborn. Grateful, the mother named the baby Aminata. One night, while the crew was drunk and distracted, the captives launched an uprising. Fanta, being assaulted, made the first strike. Her scream was the signal. The captives fought bravely, but the crew's guns quickly ended the rebellion. The leaders, including Fanta, were killed and tossed overboard. After weeks of misery, the ship finally reached Port Charles Town in 1761. The surviving captives were weak, starving, and freezing. Chekura stayed close to Aminata, offering what comfort he could. The next day, they were dragged to the slave market, praying they wouldn't be separated. But fate was cruel. Chekura was bought first and taken away. Aminata was sold to a man named Robinson Appleby, who took her to his plantation. There, a kind woman named Georgia cared for her. Time passed, and Aminata grew into a young woman. Appleby began eyeing her with unwanted attention. Georgia tried to protect her and secretly taught her to read from hidden books. When a smallpox epidemic hit, Aminata fell ill, but Georgia nursed her back to health. One day, a visitor arrived, Mr. Solomon Lindo, a Jewish indigo inspector. Appleby bragged about Aminata's intelligence and her skill as a midwife. Lindo and his wife took interest in her, but Appleby refused to sell. Later, Mrs. Lindo discovered that Aminata could read. That night, Appleby tried once more to force himself on her, but Georgia interrupted. Soon after, Aminata received news that Chekura had returned, alive. They reunited, sharing an emotional embrace. He gave her a small gift and promised to come back for her. But Appleby found out and confronted her. When she denied knowing Chekura, he attacked her in rage. Later, the Lindos returned and gifted Aminata a book. That night, she and Chekura reunited again, expressing their love. Since marriage was forbidden, they leapt over a broomstick. a secret ceremony of unity. When Aminata became pregnant, Appleby shaved her head in punishment, reminding her she was still his property. She gave birth to a baby girl named May, but her joy was short-lived. One day, she woke to find her child missing. Appleby had sold the baby for £5. Devastated, Aminata lost the will to live. Georgia stayed by her side until one day, Appleby announced she had been sold to Mr. Lindo. Saying goodbye to Georgia, Aminata left for her new home. Mr. Lindo assured her that she would be treated as a servant, not a slave. When Aminata called him a white man, he corrected her, saying he was Jewish, different in his eyes. Mrs. Lindo welcomed her kindly, giving her her own room and asking for help in delivering a baby. Trusting her, Aminata revealed that her child had been sold. Mrs. Lindo promised to help, but begged her not to tell her husband. Mr. Lindo soon discovered Aminata's intelligence and began teaching her how to manage his accounts. Meanwhile, Mrs. Lindo took her to the slave market, where Aminata saw once again the cruel reality of the world she lived in. Aminata begins asking questions about her missing daughter. She visits William King, a slave trader, and asks if he's heard of a baby sold by Mr. Appleby. William recalls that Appleby sold a child to a man named Mr. Scott, a cotton grower from Hilton Head Island. With Mrs. Lindo accompanying her, Aminata travels there, desperate for answers. When they arrive, she spots a woman holding a baby and rushes forward, believing it could be her daughter. But the lady of the house stops her, forbidding her to approach. Aminata forces her way inside anyway, her heart racing, only to discover that the baby isn't hers. Crushed by disappointment, she returns home in silence. Not long after, Mrs. Lindo gives birth to a healthy baby boy. The year is now 1774, and a smallpox epidemic sweeps through Charlestown, claiming countless lives. One night, Chikura appears at Aminata's door. After years apart, they finally reunite, their joy overflowing. But their peace is short-lived. Mr. Lindo finds them together and angrily orders Chikura to leave. Soon after, tragedy strikes again. Mrs. Lindo and her newborn son both fall ill with smallpox. Before her death, Mrs. Lindo makes her husband promise to allow Aminata to see Chikura one last time. When she passes, Aminata grieves deeply for the kind woman who once treated her with compassion. Afterward, Mr. Lindo tells Aminata they'll be traveling to New York for business. While there, Chikura confides a painful truth. He believes that Mr. Lindo was involved in selling their baby, May. Furious and heartbroken, Aminata confronts Lindo the next morning. When he strikes her, she fights back. She demands to know the truth about her child, and he coldly admits that May was sold, claiming it was for her own good. He adds that smallpox later took May's life. That night, Aminata breaks down completely, mourning for the daughter she will never see again. By 1775, they reach New York. There, Aminata learns that some black people live as free citizens in a place called Canvas Town. Mr. Lindo brings her to a tavern owned by a kind man named Sam, who explains that he was born in Jamaica to a plantation owner and a slave mother, and later freed by his father. Sam runs his business independently and dreams of a better life for his people. Aminata tells him she wants to return to Africa, but Sam warns her that no ships will take her back and that New York is safer for now. He also warns her to stay cautious. Raids on black communities are frequent. The next day, as Aminata is working, chaos erupts outside. Sam rushes in, telling her the American Revolution has reached New York. He insists it's her chance to escape while the city is in turmoil. Aminata flees and hides in the woods, returning 2 days later. Sam tells her Mr. Lindo was furious but has since sailed away. For the first time in years, Aminata tastes freedom, though uncertain and fragile. Sam offers her money to help her start anew. She refuses at first, but he insists, knowing she'll need it. Aminata decides to search for Chikura and hopes they can one day return to Africa together. Sam suggests she stay hidden in Canvas Town in the meantime. There, Aminata quickly befriends a man named Claiborne and a woman named Berthilda, who at first seems jealous but soon grows close to her. Aminata offers to teach them to read and write, a small act of hope in dark time. On July 4th, 1776, the colonies declare their independence. As the city celebrates, Aminata quietly reflects on the irony. Freedom for some, while others remain in chains. One day, she joins Sam on an errand, only to realize they're delivering supplies to the American rebels. Aminata doesn't trust either side, not the British nor the American. Sam tries to reassure her that General Washington's men are fighting for liberty, but when battle erupts in the woods, they barely escape with their lives. Soon after, Chikora finds her again. Overjoyed, they embrace, reunited once more. Aminata introduces him to Sam. Though the two men quickly clash in ideals, Chikora believes the British offer a chance at freedom, while Sam sides with the Americans, convinced that true liberty will come from independence. Not long after, a British officer named Lieutenant Waters asks for Aminata's help delivering a baby for his partner, Rosetta. After the birth, Aminata gently reminds him to take care of both mother and child, charging him a single pound for her work, a rare moment of dignity in a cruel world. Later, Waters approaches Chikora privately. He's recruiting black men to fight for the British in exchange for freedom. Chikora believes this is his only chance and decides to join. Aminata begs him not to go, but his mind is set. Weeks pass before word reaches her. A man named Freddie returns alone with a letter. He explains that Chikora was wounded while saving another man during battle. Bleeding heavily, he was carried into hiding by Claiborne, and later sheltered by a farmer loyal to the British crown. Aminata refuses to believe he's gone and pleads with Sam to help her search. Though reluctant, Sam finally agrees. Armed with a letter of passage from General Gates, they travel through dangerous territory until they find Claiborne and the wounded Chikora hiding deep in the woods. Weak but alive, Chikora is carried home, where Aminata nurses him back to health. But their happiness is brief. When the Americans claim victory, Sam warns Aminata that Mr. Lindo might return, and if he does, she could lose her freedom all over again. And so, as war reshapes the world around her, Aminata stands between hope and fear, a woman who has lost everything, yet refuses to stop fighting for the life and freedom she deserved.
End the movie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other recaps and subscribe for more content. And leave comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.